Tidying up the house does have a few hidden perks with it.
It does. In this case, Jolly Babies. Found them under the stairs from your birthday.
From my birthday, up at one of my favourite things in the world. So we're sat here after a week at Whiteacres, aren't we?
Yeah.
Eating jelly babies.
You went to Monk.
Yeah.
That was good, wasn't it?
What?
Did you win?
I was second on the match on second day. Hey, don't get like that with me, sir. Don't get
What?
like that with me.
What?
What? No. Really big, like.
What? How did you
I
win?
had you down for 25 grand on Saturday. You let me down again.
I did, mate. I had you down for going into 25 grand final. And I wasn't there.
I let you down before you let me down, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Monk Festival, lovely couple of days. Something that Max Fishing and Paul Fishing run at Monk Fishery out near Bridge North. First day, I had a tough day. I say a tough day, I caught plenty of fish, £95.
Not that tough,
Of
is it?
F1 shallow. No, the second day, I felt I was a bit more in tune with it. I knew what to expect, and I caught £149 of F1 shallow on maggots. I was lucky enough to come second on the match and win my lake, which was very, very nice. I didn't win the festival though.
But that little partner did, didn't he?
My little mate did.
He did.
Jordan Holloway smashed it. Dominant performance, he'd like me to say, I think.
He didn't really mention it much at White.
Oh, no. He's very, very modest and assuming, isn't
Yeah.
he? You know?
Man, hardly ever mentioned it.
You see my cup, by the way. John Arthur got me this for Christmas a few years ago. Look at this.
Tom Scholey,
Tom-
fashion icon of the
Fashion
year.
icon of the year. Look at that. Look at that for a
You
belt.
do look fashionable, mate.
Good, that, isn't it? Anyway.
Just put some weight on since then, haven't they?
You what, Paul?
I said you look very similar then. You've not aged much.
Listen, mate, I can lose this weight, but you'll always be ginger,
That's
won't
true,
you?
that.
Yeah.
It's just African sunset, Tom. That's what that is. It's not ginger. African sunset.
Well, I think son, you look like a beetroot, don't you?
You look like a beetroot, yeah.
Go on, Joe, so I'll tell them about your week at Whiteacres.
I enjoyed it, mate.
Yeah?
It was good. Company at Lodge wasn't great. With
No.
Tom Scholey, Jordan Holloway and Christian Jones. But the fishing were alright.
Right, talk us through it. First day.
First day, I got off to a good start. I won my section on following, 45, good peg.
Probably the best section peg on Pollard.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, I would as well.
I was up against it though.
Oh,
It was very windy.
right, okay.
I had a good day's fishing, £79. Second day I drew what I thought was terrible.
Yeah.
Then I got to it and I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the match I thought it wasn't very good.
How can you think an M peg with the wind howling into it isn't very good?
Because I didn't really catch out.
No
one at my end at Lake did. But I did sneak third in the section from it.
Where were you?
Peg 3 on twin out.
Yeah, it's the wrong end normally, isn't it?
It was the wrong end all week, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
but when the wind blows down there, sometimes it's air.
Yeah.
And when I got to it, the wind was blowing down. I thought, this is it.
Ooh.
I'm going to empty it. But I didn't. I caught a couple of big carp early, a couple of big carp late, and a few silvers. But I managed to keep myself in it.
Yeah.
And I come third in the section. Johnny Madison had £135 for second.
Yeah.
And Andy Dare won the section with £180. Don't really think I could have done any more.
No. Interesting, you said you had some big fish late on, didn't you? The last sort of 15, well, last 5 minutes.
Last 10 minutes, yeah. About 8 minutes I caught two big carp and an F1. So that kept me.
For £19, you reckon?
But no, I put them in a separate net just to see. I caught £19 in the last 6 minutes.
That's what it's all about down there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Same early on, innit? You can, like, that particular day, got 2 in the first 5 minutes as well, for like £20.
Yeah.
So more than half your weight in the first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes, but lesson to be learned there, isn't it? Day 3, where was day 3?
4. No.
No.
Sea water, they call it canal.
Canal, peg 15. Didn't really want to draw on canal.
No.
I've been on there once before and didn't do very well, but
No.
I think fishing very, very difficult. I was disappointed when I got there to see Alan Scotthorne sat on peg 19.
You don't want him, because 19 was boss peg, wasn't it?
It was best peg, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
good. And he's alright at fishing.
Not bad at fishing.
Learning, isn't he?
Going there, yeah.
Slowly
Going
learning.
there now, yeah.
He's booked another couple of coaching days with us, hasn't he?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
year, bagging
So-
road. But anyway, he won 19. Paul Holland had won the lake off it the day before with £100.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to be very difficult to beat him. And I didn't catch anything for 2 hours. Nothing at all. A few little tiny perch. And then halfway through the match, started catching an odd F1. Got myself together. Fishing in a little bit deeper water, sort of 3.5 feet of water, down the edges but out from the bank.
Yeah.
The chopped worms on the bottom. And ended up catching like a dozen of 15 F1s and a carp for £53. We're enough to finish second on Canal.
Well done.
To Alan Scotland. So I've got a first, a third and second so far.
Yeah, so you were going for fourth and fifth in the last 2 days to make it complete.
No, we're going to double first, wasn't I? But it's all about getting that top 24.
It is.
To get in the 25,000 quid final. So if I needed a section win, I was good at Porth. I love Porth. I do enjoy Porth. And I drew peg 24 in the first meadow. And I managed to win the section from the second on the lake.
You've said you've drawn 24 in first, maybe you forgot to mention some of them.
What?
Were you or were you not an end peg?
I want an end peg, mate.
You was an end peg, mate.
No, because there was someone to my right.
Yes, about 30 pegs to your right.
Mate, don't my right big gap, Don't my right big
peg
gap,
on point, weren't you?
Pitch's point.
On point, weren't you? Yeah, he was sat on point.
I enjoyed it, mate.
End peg sat on point, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did I mention you an end peg?
One section.
Well done, mate.
Second on lake. Had them two to contend with again, didn't I?
Who?
Scotland and Powers.
Bloody hell.
You don't want them in your section.
No, you can do without them.
Patty nearly beat the Powers. He had £13.
What did you have?
14.
What did he have? 13?
13.8, I think, yeah. Scotland had £12.
So they weren't far behind, were they?
No. Good match.
But you've done what you had to do, haven't you?
Did, mate. So, and that put me on. In old school scores, it was 33 points. It was 29, I think, in this festival because they were too short.
8 peg sections.
Yeah. So that was enough to get into the final. I was hoping, and it was in the end. Because the final day, I had a bit of a disaster.
Bless you.
I drew peg 21 on Bellinger, which is notoriously a bad peg. But I quite fancied it because it was in a section with quite a few poor pegs.
Yep.
Lee Kerry had won the section off it on the first day from Method Feeder.
Yep.
And I thought, you know what, this is gonna go for me. If I can win the section today, I'll get in top 10. And unfortunately, I didn't hardly have any bites. Felt a little bit lost, to be honest.
Oh.
I caught 7 small carp for £48, and finished 5th in the section.
Bless you.
But it didn't matter, because them points were enough to get into the top 24. I ended up 13th on the festival, so I just missed out on top 10, but never mind. But we're in the final.
Which is what it's all about, isn't
That's
it?
what it's all about. That is what it's all about. It's nice because you're building up to that, aren't you?
Yes, so that was the final.
It were very difficult. It were a little bit disappointing, if I'm honest, the fishing in the final. It was great for some people, but
great for Johnny Wincott, wasn't it?
Great for Johnny Wincott, but he's good as well. But no, it were a little bit disappointing. I think that there's 24 angles all in a line on that back bank of Jenny's, and it's a fishing match. You know, someone's got to win it. But the fishing were very difficult. I think that they not having much room and stuff does affect the fishing quite. Like the last few years, there's been a lot of low weights, but then again, because it's low weights, you only need to catch a few big fish late on, and you're still in it. But I didn't do very well. I had £15, but I had a good day because we got Des Ship nearby, Lee Edwards and Jordan Holloway, and we were all chatting all day and had a good laugh. And few spectators were having a nice little natter and a chat. Very well, I enjoyed my day out, mate. I enjoyed my day out. But he did well for him in cup, didn't he?
Awesome, mate. Absolutely brilliant. I was so happy for him. One of the nicest blokes and all that.
He's unbelievably nice. Last one in bar and all on Friday night, wasn't he?
He always is.
He was stood up there having a pint. You know what he said to me and all, he said on Friday night, he said, I've just got a feeling. He says, when I won match this, I had a feeling. Day before, he said, I've got that feeling again tonight.
It was right, whether it was just wind or what, but it proved alright, didn't it?
Or butterflies or what, but he did well.
How
were your week at Whiteacres?
My week at Whiteacres was very enjoyable. Loved every minute of it. I always do when I go down there. But if I want to talk about fishing, I've got to be honest and say it was very, very difficult. I'm not normally one to blame the draw, but on this occasion I'm going to go straight out there and say I never drew a peg once that gave me a chance of winning any serious money.
No?
I say serious money because I did manage to win £1.
Who are?
Lee Kerry on the next peg.
Did you really?
I had £1, yeah.
So you beat Lee Kerry?
Yes.
Off the next peg?
Yes, and that was all I won all week, £1.
Never mind. Did he give it you?
He did, yeah. I had to make him go and fetch it though.
I bet you did.
Yeah, he didn't hand it off for free.
He doesn't like parting with cash, that boy.
He were off and then he come back. But yeah, first I drew Bellinger peg 36, 34 Belinjo was on.
Yeah. That's a good peg, isn't it?
It's a great peg. It's a great
Got a
peg.
lot of room there, haven't you?
You have got a lot of room there.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that in this particular festival, peg 38 isn't in. So peg 36 and peg 40 have got a stack more room than you have.
Have they?
And who should be on peg 36 today? I'm on 34.
Winnie.
Johnny Wincup, put in a dominant performance. Won the weight emphatically with £168.
Yeah. You'd think he'd send them your way, wouldn't you?
You'd have thought so. Yeah, I still had a day's fishing. I had £95, which was a day's fishing. But not good enough. Second day, I went to peg 30 on the match weight.
High bank.
High bank.
That's a good peg, isn't it?
It's a good peg, but you're in a very, very, very difficult section with a lot of other good pegs.
Right.
And that particular day, 14, 15 and 16, which were all in my section,
yeah.
But you're not in a line, they're over the other side of the lake, but in your section, they came first, second and third on the match. And I could see them all, sat out the wind howling over their backs, me struggling to hold the top 5, them fishing a long pole, making it look easy. And Jordan Holloway, my little mate again, did the damage, winning the match. Again, taking a pound off Lee Kerry.
He won the lake that day, didn't he?
He won the lake. But those 3 pegs that were in my section were actually first, second and third in the match and in my section. So very disappointing. And then I thought, I'm going to go into the third day, I'm going to get a good draw now. This is where my week's going to turn around. And then I put my hand in the bag, pulled out the peg next to where you had been the previous day. Peg 4 on Twin Oaks.
Peg 5 it was.
Peg 5 on Twin Oaks.
That's a good peg, that, isn't it?
Oh,
the wind blowing down there.
Fantastic.
The wind backing your way.
No, I came to peg 3 where you were, mate, the previous day.
Really?
Anyway.
Right.
Not to put too fine a point on it, I caught very little again. Peg
no.
3 where you were, caught £48. I caught £27.
Right.
And everybody else, I think, had £100 plus.
So what were you doing wrong?
Couldn't get any bites. Listen, don't make no bones about this. I am a fantastic angler. If the fish had been there,
you'd probably caught
I would definitely caught them. But they weren't there. You mustn't let these things get confidence down. Then,
Day 4.
Day 4. Three Waters, Acorn and Canal.
Yeah.
And that was actually when I drew next to Lee Kerry, as mentioned.
Yeah. So you must have been in a good area.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Now, yet again, an end peg with the wind hacking into it I was on.
So you was on an end peg?
I was on an end peg.
With the wind?
With the wind. That Andy Power had won the section off the day before. I have that one as well in there.
Really?
I thought, this might be alright today.
Yeah.
This will be good today.
And?
Lee Kerry rubbing his hands, I was rubbing my hands. We got there. Started fishing. Got the odd bite. Really looked up the non-windward end of the lake, and who should be there again? Johnny Wincup. Sat there, bagging in the sheltered area. Me and Lee, no bites. I had £40. Lee had £24, I think. So I won £1, and I think I was second to last in the section, or beat 2 in the section, or whatever. Not ideal.
It's not ideal.
Meanwhile, at Port Reservoir, where I was going the next day, there was a little strip of pegs at the end, between about peg 35 and peg 40.
Yeah.
Where Steve Ringer caught £1.10, I think. Andy Bennett caught 6 ounce. Sandy Scotland caught £1, and some other poor unfortunate soul who struggled to draw down there caught very little. So on the Friday, I went into the bag on a Port Reservoir, thinking, please, nowhere above peg 30. Let me have somewhere where there's some fish to catch.
Yeah, like 24.
Like 24 would have been a dream. But no, I knew exactly how the week was going to end. And then went the hand and out came peg 36.
That's a good peg, isn't it?
Oh, it's a magnificent peg, mate. It's an absolutely great peg. If you like that sort of thing, like difficult fishing, But to be fair, it fished better than the previous day.
You were surprised, weren't you?
Oh, amazed. I actually thought I got off to a good start catching small skimmers. Right on the feeder. Nice day, catching a few of them. I thought, I've probably got, after an hour, I got 30 odd skimmers. Very good. Well, an hour and a half after I got 30 odd skimmers. And then news filtered down at peg 40.
Green.
Catching green.
Grand. Kevin White, were it?
It was Kevin, yeah. Did have a son.
Careful.
He won the section. I think second on the lake with a big weight of slabs.
£15, yeah, didn't he?
And my little weight of skimmers was no good for anything. But all in all, I loved the week. We had a great time. Took a few drinks, didn't we?
Had a couple of times.
You and Jordan won me some money, didn't you?
We
Be
did.
fair.
We
You
did.
paid for a week. My little sponsors here paid for a week, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was great.
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
loved
good.
it. Loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Think we'll get down again before the year's out?
I can see us being on that Silverfish Festival,
Would
can't
be
you?
nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice.
Mm.
So, before we go, give them a tip. What was the biggest thing you learned at Whiteacre? Fishing tip.
A fishing tip from
Fishing
Whiteacre.
tip from Whiteacre.
The biggest thing I learned is make sure you take with you a selection of snacks and soft drinks, and that way, even if you draw bad, you're going to have a nice day.
Yeah.
The other thing I learned was, and I don't know the way out of this, I'm going to write about this, I'm going to do a feature about this,
Yeah.
or not a feature, like a blog about it.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get your head around, but there are times in fishing when you are pretty much beaten before you start.
Yeah.
And as frustrating, oh, what's dropping that?
Yeah.
Don't drop that. As frustrating as it is, you can't let them times get to you because everybody has them. And weeks like that prove it. You've only got to look.
Yeah.
People like Andy Bennett, you know, probably one of the finest commercial anglers in the country.
Probably the finest in the world.
People like Steve Ringer, you know, having results like that. It's nothing you're doing. Sometimes it's the peg. And you just got to, as much as you want to...
Soldier on!
Yes, as much as you want to criticise yourself and tear yourself apart and try and learn, you can't always do that.
You can't.
What was the biggest thing you learned?
The biggest thing I learnt was... probably to have a lot of patience with commercial fishing, particularly on pressured venues that get fished a lot. Like Whiteacre has been fished all year from the spring. And
All year from the spring, that doesn't make any sense.
we've been fished every week virtually since the spring festivals. And them fish you get fished for, they're very wise, they have feeding habits and times of the day, at certain times of the day, etc. And a couple of the days, or most of the days, it started off catching virtually nothing at all, and then in the last hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, you start to get a few bites. And the big old wise commercial fish down there, and you don't need many of them to knock a weight up, and I think having a lot of patience, not losing your head before the end of the match, and keeping your lines ticking over, and keeping feeding your lines, and keep persevering and concentrating properly right until that last little spell is really important, because you can still come good from a late performance. I think it really doing it virtually every day for me, catching late, was taught me that. I think I can apply that to a few other venues.
Absolutely. And I've just got to say before I go, a big well done to another mate of mine, the actual festival winner, Preston festival winner, Dent Dog.
He's unreal.
He's brilliant. Lovely man.
Fantastic angler.
What more can we say? I like Johnny Winkle.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do. Grow a bit taller and
Maybe a beard.
muscle up a bit like Winnie and
Yeah.
James. There's something about these big guys, aren't they? They're great,
Yeah.
aren't they? Not like the diminutive figures, aren't they?
No.
Can I have a joke before you go then? Don't think fast.
Let me have a little think. Why couldn't the Penguin play football?
Go on.
Because he had snowball.
Oh.